After studying poetry and books for 100 years, once a saint enters the world. Master, shocked. Chen Mu traveled through the world of martial arts and became a gatekeeper at Jianya Academy. To become a Confucian sage through reading, who says that many Confucian scholars are weak. White Fox faced Nangong Push Academy. Iron Horse Ice River, Sword of the River, Kong Xing Xian Hua, Shushan Sihai. One after another, Confucianism and Taoism emerged as saints, intimidating the world. Nangong Park Shek was shocked. What kind of divinity is this? Master chuckled and said, "This is my Confucian sage." Nangong Park shot stunned the heavens and the people. On this day, the northern Han King Su Xiaoma set foot in the martial arts world, putting the academy at risk. Chen Mu leaves the pass, Confucianism and Taoism become saints, and iron horses and ice rivers enter dreams. Slay the northern Han's 100,000 iron cavalry in anger. The Confucian sages in academies have become prominent. Who dares to ride horses in the martial arts world? Keywords of the novel. Zongwu. The centenary Confucian sage is exposed, shocking Confucius without pop-ups, Zongwu. The centenary Confucian sage is exposed, shocking Confucius complete collection download, Zongwu. The centenary Confucian sage is exposed, shocking Confucius latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. 100 Years of Solitude finally awakens, Confucianism and Taoism show sage and prove sincerity. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1. 100 Years of Solitude finally awakens, Confucianism and Taoism show sage and prove sincerity. The mandate of heaven is nature, and the nature of recklessness is the way. So, the way of sincerity can be known in advance. When a country is about to rise, there will be peace and prosperity. When a country is about to fall, there will be demons. When good and evil come, good will be prophesied, when not good, it will be prophesied. Therefore, sincerity is as sincere as a god. Academy, inside the library. Chen Mu, leaning on a broom, now has white hair and beard. For 100 years, Chen Mu has always held a sincere heart and persisted in reading. However, after reading this chapter, slowly closing the Confucian classics in his hand and returning them to their original habitat, he couldn't help but sigh with regret. It has been 100 years since I traveled here. There is no system. No adventures. I don't even have the talent for cultivation. I, as a traveler, have no advantage except for having a unique memory compared to others. If we insist on the only adventure of over 100 years, it would be when Chen Mu traveled 100 years ago and became the senior brother of the academy master. However, what use is this? In addition, in the eyes of the world, he is just a waste. So, 100 years ago, Chen Mu was completely disillusioned and volunteered to go to the library to serve as a sweeper. This sweep, it's just 100 years for 100 years, because there is no talent for cultivation. Chen Mu is at odds with this world of the jungle. Apart from accepting reality, he is also living in seclusion in the library of this academy, accompanying the books in the collection. Will 100 years of loneliness, 100 years of loneliness, finally be marked? The green mountains remain unchanged, and the green water flows for a long time. Goodbye, Jianghu. Persisting for 100 years, I only worked as a pavilion sweeper. I haven't been able to go out and take a good look at this Jianghu scenery yet. Chen Mu, who is 100 years old, feels that his lifespan is approaching, but in the end, my heart was unwilling. If only he had talent and could cultivate. God treated him unfairly. Just as Chen Mu's century-long flame of hope was about to extinguish, a cold and crisp voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reading 100,000 volumes and successfully unlocking the Confucian sage system. All books that have been read will be converted into cultivation. Host reads 100,000 volumes, 100,000 cultivation to shape oneself. What? This. Is this the system? Chen Mu, who was originally disheartened, was so weak that only his last breath was left. Chen Mu immediately widened his eyes and his body trembled slightly. However, there was no hint of surprise on his face, still maintaining the calm demeanor of an ancient well. 100 years of loneliness, Chen Mulian had already developed a calm state of mind. 100 years of loneliness. After 100 years of loneliness, will there still be rewards in the end? Heaven does not disappoint those who work hard. Chen Mu, leaning on a broom, couldn't help but cry with joy. 100 years of loneliness, 100 years of loneliness, finally, all this loneliness and solitude have finally reached the conditions to activate the system. Great, great. Why hasn't the damn dog system been silent for 100 years? I thought I didn't have a system. Ah. Chen Muku waited 100 times, for 100 years, he suspected that this was a treacherous journey. I don't know how many times he wanted to wipe his neck and end it on his own, and then leave this world. Is it too much to scold the dog system? Fortunately, now we are finally able to guard the clouds and see the moon shining brightly. Chen Mu didn't know that he was cursing the system, because over the past century, he had read 100,000 books and the system had converted him into a cultivation of 100,000 points and transformed his body. His physique is constantly improving. Physical fitness is improving step by step. The most intuitive feeling is that the limbs of the body are instantly filled with strength. The aging body and aging face are also being altered. Become no longer weak, no longer old. The crane hair is still there, but the old face has turned into a childlike appearance. It seems to have transformed into a highly respected figure. Ding, system prompt. The host has been studying hard for 100 years, with 100,000 cultivation achievements accompanying him, reaching the realm of Vajra. Is it the diamond realm? Every cell in the body is becoming stronger. Chen Mu closed his eyes and felt the changes in his body. At this moment, Chen Mu still didn't know, because he suddenly awakened his system, and as his cultivation continued to improve, waves of golden light suddenly lit up over the library of the academy. Immediately after, the fragrance of books overflowed, the glow is boundless. In the academy, the seemingly timeless golden body of the Confucian sage also exudes waves of grandeur, with a faint light faintly revealing the classic words of Confucianism. The students and teachers in the academy were all startled by the vision. One by one, they ran out and looked up at the sky above the library. Oh my God, what's going on? Is it true that there are high-level individuals practicing the practice of becoming saints? Everyone can see that higher up in the library, there are scrolls of books formed by the transformation of the sunset, and even poems and phrases that turn into flowing light falling from the sky. Even more beautiful than the scattered flowers in the sky. This. Sir. What's going on? This is a strange phenomenon between heaven and earth. Did Master break through the sacred realm? Surprised people speculated one after another. At this time, the most accomplished scholar in the academy was Master Yi. Sir, if you say that, I believe it must be Master's breakthrough. Great, Master's cultivation has reached the holy realm of Confucianism and Taoism. In the future, those who hold evil intentions towards our academy will no longer dare to act recklessly. However, everyone in the academy believed that, at this moment, when Master's cultivation had finally broken through to the holy realm of Confucianism and Taoism, and he finally became a saint in the academy, Master appeared in surprise with his followers in front of everyone. He also looked up at the sky with a surprised gaze. Heaven and earth are different. Confucianism and Taoism become holy. That place is the direction of the library. This. Master, a sage. Isn't that you? The teachers and students of the academy looked bewildered when they saw this scene. If it weren't for the Master, who would it be? Is it difficult? Is it an outsider's manifestation? It's not right either. The fragrance of books is overflowing, and the scrolls of books are flying. This is the authentic manifestation of Confucianism and Taoism. Absolutely not martial arts or swordsmanship, and Lady Yi couldn't help but burst into laughter at the astonishment on everyone's faces. You guys, the pattern in your heart is too small. Please note that in this world, there are even stronger experts in the academy. Do you think there are no other experts besides me? I am a good teacher, but my academy is also a place where dragons and tigers hide. Ha ha ha. Laughing, after playing a riddle and invisibly pretending to be a force general, Master Yi quickly rushed to the library with several followers. Master, is it that our ancestor is still here? Faced with this magical speculation, Master Yi didn't have the heart to answer again, because he actually doesn't know who is showing up in his heart. However, looking solely at the direction of the library where the sage appeared, although he was unsure, he suddenly thought of someone in his heart. Senior brother, is that you? People say you're a waste. But Jianye knows that senior brother is actually a sincere and genuine person. Master has passed away for many years, and besides you, there is no one in the academy with such a profound foundation. The realm in the book is the realm in the snow. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. The birth of the Confucian sage, who is not our Confucian family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. The birth of the Confucian sage, who is not our Confucian family. Outside the library, Master suddenly stopped and said to the two attendants beside him, "Watch here. No one can enter the library until I come out." "Yes, Master." The two attendants of the Master couldn't help but be surprised in their hearts. Before, when Master came, he never prohibited anyone from entering the library. Because Confucius believed that it was a good thing for disciples of the academy to frequently come to the library to read scriptures and classics. Therefore, this anomaly in heaven and earth is definitely related to the expert in the library, but who is this expert? Is it true that the ancestor is still alive, and he's hiding in this library? As the confidant of the Master, the two of them only knew that Master had a senior brother who had been a library sweeper for over 100 years. Could this Master's senior brother, who is over 100 years old, clearly be sweeping the library and managing books, but secretly serving the ancestral Master who lives in seclusion in the library? The two of them brainstormed together. After a private discussion, the more I think about it, the more I feel that there must be a big secret in this library that they don't know. Otherwise, how could Master even conceal them? At this moment, the Master of Xinqiaoping still didn't know. His small gesture would have caused the two attendants around him to brainstorm so much content. After turning the two attendants into the left and right door gods of the Academy's library, he endured the excitement and entered the library. "Senior brother. Are you there?" Master always wears a dignified expression before everyone in the Academy. But after entering the library, the majesty on his face instantly dissipated like spring snow, replaced by the look of respect from his junior brother who wanted to see him. This is not pretending, but rather a natural transition from the heart. In fact, as a master, there is no need to take Chen Mu, a lowly gatekeeper, seriously. However, Master never underestimated Chen Mu. Since the passing of his master, Chen Mu, who remained silent, has been the most respected person in his heart. Even everyone in the academy did not take Chen Mu, a useless person without any cultivation talent, seriously. Master's respect for Chen Mu has remained unchanged for 100 years. Just like Chen Mu's tireless and sincere heart in reading. Junior brother. Chen Mu heard the Master's voice. However, he was currently immersed in a wonderful realm, so he did not answer. However, the Master sensed that the one in the library gave out a powerful aura, with the same breath and frequency as his elder martial brother. So, my heart became even more excited. Ah! I shouldn't be wrong. This is the breath of a Confucian sage. The person who became a saint in the library and triggered the illusion of heaven and earth is indeed a senior brother. Whoosh! The Master drifted towards the depths of the library at lightning speed. In the end, the Master saw Chen Mu dressed in linen and plain clothes, holding a broom with his eyes slightly closed, but exuding a supreme, boundless and majestic aura all around him. This is exactly the aura that only Confucian and Taoist sages possess. Sure enough, it's senior brother. Master, you are right. 100 years ago, my senior brother was a hidden dragon in the abyss. Now, once enlightened, a flying dragon is in the sky. At this moment, the master discovered that Chen Mu's body is no longer weak, and his waist has become even straighter. That face, which used to be peaceful but full of wrinkles, has now returned to old age like a withered tree in spring. This is a gift from the heavenly way to senior brother for his sincere heart. At this time, although Chen Mu's strength was only in the diamond realm, but due to the systematic blessing, what is displayed is the aura of a Confucian sage. Senior brother. The master saw that Chen Mu seemed to be comprehending something, so besides softly calling out, even though he had already arrived by Chen Mu's side, he dared not disturb him any further, afraid of interrupting his cultivation. However, after a moment, Chen Mu slowly opened his eyes. At this moment, Chen Mu's eyes were still as calm as ever, with a faint smile on his face. It's junior brother. That is to say, the person I met was the disciple whom master had always respected, otherwise, if it were someone else, Chen Mu wouldn't even bother to squeeze out a smile. 100 years of loneliness and solitude, as well as the disdain and prejudice of the world towards him, made Chen Mu lazy to waste even his facial expressions on others. Congratulations, senior brother. From then on, I have a lineage of Confucian academies, and there will be saints again. The master's voice couldn't help but be excited. But after hearing this, Chen Mu didn't seem to have much emotion. He just gave the master a faint glance and smiled, saying, "Hee hee. What kind of sage is not sage? Junior brother, I just read a lot of books and now I have an epiphany. It's nothing. Why bother mentioning the realm of a mere Confucian sage?" This. Chen Mu became increasingly indifferent at this moment. In the heart of the master, the more shocking it is. From a century-old useless person to a Confucian and Taoist sage, how can senior brother remain so indifferent? Such a state of mind, I can't do more than that. Back then, my senior brother was called a waste because he didn't have the talent for cultivation. What kind of humiliation was this? If I were an ordinary person, I would have just lay flat and given up. But my senior brother was able to endure humiliation, disregarding worldly prejudices, and begged his master to transform into a sweeper, persistently studying and practicing this persistence. It's just 100 years. 100 years. Without this century-long persistence, where did this sudden enlightenment come from? Senior brother's sincere heart is as strong as a rock, it is 100 times stronger than me. Thinking of this, the master's respect for Chen Mu grew even more in his heart. Senior brother. Although you don't care about fame and falsehood. But 100 years ago, they said you were a waste. Junior brother, I am not convinced. Now that senior brother is squeezing into the holy realm, I want to announce to the world and correct your name. I want those who have mocked my senior brother to know how narrow their horizons are. My senior brother is now a sage of Confucianism and Taoism. Confucian and Taoist sages. Master speaks with great restraint. Actually, he keeps cursing his mother in his heart. The thing he most wants to say, simple and rough, is to blind those people's eyes and see what kind of person his senior brother is now. How dare you say that his senior brother is useless? Are they compatible? Master believes that, once the news of Chen Mu's sudden realization of becoming a saint is announced, the dog's eyes will surely fall all over the world. Senior brother will definitely be able to raise his eyebrows and exhale. And the academy, it will definitely once again become famous throughout the world, mighty in all directions. It can also deter those who have ulterior motives towards the academy. In one fell swoop, a small abacus, master has already helped Chen Mu fight in an instant. However, after listening to his master's words, Chen Mu secretly cursed at this young junior brother in his heart. It has been 100 years, and I have just awakened to the system. In this world of martial arts, there are not many old monsters in the realm of earthly immortals, and there are even celestial beings in the sky who covet ordinary luck. Not to mention the distance, currently Confucianism and the Kong family have been running for thousands of years, eyeing academies with envy. Making a name for oneself now will only bring chaos, not luck. Now, I just want to lie flat and develop. If you announce this to the world, wouldn't you be disrupting my plan to make a fortune quietly? Therefore, Chen Mu did not accept the kindness of the master, but immediately spoke out to dissuade him, saying, "Junior brother, this is absolutely unacceptable." "Senior brother, why is this?" Senior brother's conversion from Confucianism to Taoism is a grand event in our academy. Junior brother wants to announce to the world, celebrate and express his feelings. Master knows Chen Mu's character and doesn't like to trouble others, which is why he said this. However, Chen Mu continued to refuse. "Junior brother, as stated in the Book of Changes, a gentleman hides his tools in his body and waits for the moment to move. At present, the situation is chaotic, and there are many people who have ulterior motives towards my academy. Although I have become a saint through Confucianism, I should not publicize it." Upon hearing this, Master suddenly realized. You truly deserve to be a senior brother. One word hit the nail on the head. Nowadays, academies have taken over the position of Confucianism, but the three great empires of Liang, Datong, and Daming all monopolize Confucianism, and these three forces all want to eradicate the Confucian anomaly of academies. Therefore, we have to guard against it. Senior brother is still thoughtful. However, senior brother, you have now become a Confucian sage. Kong men will eventually find your head. With the foundation and strength of Kong men, we will definitely do everything possible to eliminate you. Senior brother, we still need to take precautions early. At that time, junior brother will help senior brother. Upon hearing this, Chen Mu smiled lightly and waved his hand, saying, "I don't want to gain much fame, I just want to remain anonymous. But if someone ignorant dares to come and cause trouble, I'll chop one. What about Kong men? If you dare to provoke them, you can destroy them with one hand." However, the birth of a Confucian sage triggered a celestial anomaly. The experts in this world have an emotional connection in their hearts, the land of Qilu. In the holy land of the Confucian, Taoist, and Confucian lineage, Kong Sheng, the master of the Kong sect who was practicing self-cultivation behind closed doors, was surprised to open his eyes because he sensed the breath of the Confucian sage. There are Confucian sages born in heaven and earth, but they are not part of my Confucian lineage. Who is it? Quickly investigate. This person cannot stay for long. Find out the details of this person and kill him at any cost. The Confucian sage can only emerge from his own Confucian gate. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. The birth of Confucian sages shocks the world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. The birth of Confucian sages shocks the world. The people of Kongmen Holy Land unexpectedly discovered that their sect leader Kong Sheng surprisingly broke through the level ahead of time before the day of leaving. This is something that has never happened before in the past. Someone notify and convene an emergency meeting. Kong Sheng strode out of the pass with great strides, while summoning important members of the Kong family to hold a meeting to discuss major matters. After everyone gathered, Kong Sheng didn't wait for the people in the Kongmen Holy Land to ask questions. He himself came straight to the point and revealed a sudden revelation. Are you all curious why I have to leave the stage early? That's because during my seclusion, I sensed the birth of a Confucian sage in heaven and earth. As soon as these words were spoken, the main hall of the Confucius Gate immediately exploded with a buzzing sound. What? The birth of a Confucian sage. The birth of a Confucian sage is a shocking event for all Confucian scholars in the world. In recent years, the most popular legends in the martial arts world are those of martial saint, sword god, sword immortal, blade saint, and spear immortal. For example, that person is nearly 100 years old. After more than 80 years of fame, he became a peerless master at the age of 25. At the age of 40, he challenged the sword god of his generation, Li Chungang, and broke Li Chuangang's sword-wielding wooden horse ox with his 2 fingers, ascending to the top of the martial arts world and becoming the #1 in the world. Now, Wang Xianji is sitting in the city of Emperor Wu in the East China Sea. He is proficient in both swordsmanship and swordsmanship, but he likes to face enemies empty-handed. In the martial arts world, there are only a few people who can make their hands level. Being called a martial saint is not an exaggeration at all. Having the greatest strength in the world, for 80 years, but it only claims to be the second in the world. In recent years, the entire Jianghu has been a legend about him. And that sword god Li Chungang, who was invincible in the world a century ago, was also stunning. Heaven does not give birth to me, Li Chungang. Swordsmanship is as eternal as the night. This legend still endures to this day. On the other hand, while Confucianism is still prevalent today, there are few legends of Confucian sages, because the Confucian sect hasn't produced a saint for too long. Has a Confucian and Taoist sage emerged from my Confucian lineage? Who is it? Who exactly is it? The sect leader's emergency exit this time is probably about to announce this matter. Thinking of this, everyone present couldn't help but feel a sense of envy, jealousy, and hatred in their hearts. Everyone is tormenting themselves in the depths of their hearts. Why is it not oneself who has become a saint through Confucianism? Just as everyone was shocked and discussing, Kong Shing immediately threw out another shocking message. I also hope it's. However, this saint is not a member of my Confucian lineage. Ah! The previous wave of internal envy, jealousy, and hatred, instantly transformed into a unified xenophobic state. Master, if it's not from my Kong sect, which lineage would it be from? Is it a branch of Confucianism and Taoism in the 3 great empires of Liang, Daming, and Tang? Regarding this, Kong Shing shook his head seriously. It's also possible, but the direction is not right. So, could it be a branch of Confucianism from other regions? That pure and noble aura is not within the 3 great empires of Liang, Daming, and Datong, nor is it within any other branch of Confucianism. Well, can't it be an academy? Someone guessed. After all, academies are the legendary orthodox Confucianism. At this moment, Kong Shing nodded slowly. I'm afraid I guessed it right this time. Although it's too far apart, I'm not sure. But it should generally be in the direction of the academy. Kong Shing's words surprised the whole audience. Is this Confucian sage who emerged unexpectedly from an academy? Did the master of the academy get promoted? It's possible. There are Confucian sages born out of nowhere, no matter which domain they are from. For all the Confucian scholars in the world, it was a big earthquake. Everyone in the hall couldn't help but speculate. However, Kong Shing's meeting was not just about gathering a group of people to come and guess behind closed doors. It is indeed possible for the master of the academy to be promoted to a saint, but what we need to obtain is accurate information. Instead of just sitting in the main hall chasing shadows. After announcing this matter, Kong Shing's goal was to make the people of the Kong family aware that their status was invisibly challenged and threatened. Then it's time to immediately dispatch manpower, while sending people out to gather information and discussing countermeasures. However, what they don't know is that, Chen Mu's sudden emergence was not only shocking to their Confucian lineage. Even the 3 great emperors of Liang, Daming, and Datong, who were the only masters of Confucianism in their time, were able to sense the aura of the Confucian sage. By some experts, they all reported this matter in great fear. Liang. The young eunuch, who was of the same age as the country and had extremely high strength, also had a slight frown on his face and immediately attracted his confidence. Someone here. Sir, what are your instructions? Go and tell the emperor that a Confucian and Taoist sage has been born in the academy. Ask him to send someone to inquire and inform me as soon as there is any news later. Yes, it's amazing. When the young eunuch's confidant mentioned the emperor to his master, and even had a commanding tone, it was not surprising at all. Because at this time, Emperor Liang Zhao Chun, for this mysterious adult, he is just a junior. People all say, little hidden in the mountains, great hidden in the market. Actually, that's not enough. Realm, hidden in the mountains and hidden in the city can only be considered as small and medium hidden. The true great hidden is hidden in the court, just like this eunuch, who possesses a secret technique, shares the same lifespan as the country, has a high status, but his true age cannot be seen, and no one knows his true name. That's the real hidden danger. After receiving news from the young eunuch who shared the same birthday as the country, Emperor Liang Zhao Chun attached great importance to it. He immediately summoned the Cat Han Diao Temple, one of the three demons of spring and autumn. I have received news that there are Confucian and Taoist saints born in the academy. This matter is extremely important. You can personally investigate and determine who became the saint. Academy. Han Diao Temple, the human cat, was also surprised after hearing this. Your Majesty, is it not the master of the academy? I also think it's possible, that's why I want you to personally take action. If someone else goes, I'm not at ease. Please rest assured, Emperor. Our family will definitely find out the truth for you. Okay. What Zhao Chun doesn't know yet is that, almost at the same time, Emperor Li Shimin of the Tang dynasty mobilized bad people, and Emperor Zhu Hozhao of the Ming dynasty dispatched the royal guards. They are all required to thoroughly investigate this matter and find out who has become a saint through Confucianism. Otherwise, even the Confucian sages who were born would not be aware of the situation, and if they could not control accurate information, they would all have difficulty sleeping and eating. Because both the Tang and Ming dynasties respected Confucianism. How many people are known as Confucian scholars in the civil and military fields of the Manchu dynasty, even in the streets and rural areas? There are saints in Confucianism, and soon after, there will undoubtedly be a huge uproar in the country that only respects Confucianism. What they want to do, it's just that the autumn wind hasn't moved, and the cockroach has a premonition. We must not let this rising Confucian sage affect their national fortune. Except for a few major empires, the holy places in the Jianghu, such as Taoist Zuding Dragon Tiger Mountain, Qingqing Mountain, Wudong Mountain, Snow Moon City, Woody City, Demon Sect, etc., after sensing the breath of Chen Mu, the sage of Confucianism and Taoism, everyone turned their gaze towards the direction of the academy. Wang Xianji walked out of the city of Emperor Wu with her hands on her back and said, "There are saints born in the Confucian school, and the position should be in an academy. That's great. This martial arts world is really becoming more and more interesting." On Mount Longhu, almost all four contemporary celestial masters coincidentally turned their gaze towards the distance. A sage has been born in Confucianism. As Taoist masters, they deeply understand the terror of Confucian sages. Those masters in Qingqing Mountain, Demon Sect and other holy places also stopped their cultivation and turned their eyes to the direction where Chen Mu's breath appeared unexpectedly. A sage appeared in Confucianism. Is this a sign of great prosperity? Beimeng, a beautiful figure, drifted away from the country. Nangong Push, are you going? There are Confucian and Taoist sages born in the academy. I want to ask the Confucian sage and find a chance. After the Nangong servants left, end of this chapter. Chapter 4. A Broken Mountain and River, a book covers the world. The Divine Brush Luo Shuqi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Breaking Mountains and Rivers with One Pen, Covering the World with One Book. The Divine Brush Luo Shuqi recognizes the Lord Academy, Library. After the master left, Chen Mu let out a long sigh of relief. When I thought my life would end in such depression, I unexpectedly awakened the system. From then on, Chen Mu had the capital to dominate the world. This round trip is really exciting. The ancient sages said, reading breaks through 10,000 volumes, write like a god. But the conditions for Chen Mu to activate the system are even more difficult than breaking 10,000 records. To reach 100,000 rolls, only then did the system activate. Prior to this, the heavenly killing ghost system doesn't even have a hint. If it weren't for Chen Mu's constant hard work and perseverance, I'm afraid I'll miss the opportunity to activate the system. I didn't expect that this damn ghost system also emphasizes the importance of the heavenly way to reward diligence. System matters, of course. Chen Mu cannot talk to anyone, including my junior brother, Master. Although Chen Mu appears calm on the surface, but deep down inside, he was already ecstatic. Moreover, since awakening the system and becoming a saint with Confucianism, Chen Mu has always had a strange feeling in his heart. He sensed that something wonderful was attracting him in this library. This wonderful interaction between heaven and man has never appeared before. After finally sending away the young master, Chen Muley, with a hopeful mood, followed his inner feelings and stopped at a corner in the southwest of the library. I have been a pavilion sweeper here for 100 years, and I have never noticed anything strange about this corner. But now that there is a sense in my heart, even if you dig 3 feet deep, you still need to see what's strange here. So Chen Mu emptied the classics in the corner. I dismantled 2 antique bookshelves. With luck in hand, after shattering the brick wall, he unexpectedly found a hidden door. Chen Mu's heart moved and he pushed it casually. Unexpectedly, there is another universe inside. There's actually a small secret room. Chen Mu sensed for a moment and realized that there was no danger inside, and even a faint golden light could be heard. The first feeling was to make him feel that there must be a treasure hidden inside. So he immediately dodged inside. Sure enough, just a few steps away, I saw 2 golden lights floating in the dark pavilion. In the golden light, there is a simple and antique golden pen and a scroll of golden ancient books. Chen Mu stared closely. On the shaft of the golden pen, there are actually 5 words engraved. 1 stroke breaks mountains and rivers. A broken mountain and river. What a domineering tone. What pen is this? Later, he turned his head to look at the ancient book and saw that there were also 5 ancient and simple characters on it. A book covers the world. It is also unparalleled in terms of dominance. The emperor's imperial edict lacks its 5-word dominance. What kind of book is this? Before understanding the unknown, Chen Mu would not be eager to take action against it. Otherwise, we may not even know how to die. However, at this moment, the system came into play again, and a prompt rang in his mind. Ding, system prompt. Detected Confucian holy objects Mal Yangbi and He Tu Luo Shu. Hiss, this time, even Chen Mu, who had experienced 100 years of loneliness, couldn't help but take a deep breath. Surprisingly, it's the divine pen and Luo Shu. Mal Yangbi and He Tu Luo Shu, also known as Shenbi and Luo Shu in distant legends. Chen Mu never dreamed that these 2 legendary artifacts were actually hidden in the library of this academy. Since everyone knows what it is, so Chen Mu naturally won't be polite anymore. Besides, in the dark, he also sensed these 2 divine objects summoning him, so he reached out and grabbed Mal Yangbi and Hichu Luo Shu. Ding, system prompt. Mal Yangbi and Hichu Luo Shu have successfully recognized the host. Congratulations to the host. Recognize me as the main one. After receiving these 2 system prompts in his mind, Chen Mu surprisingly had a feeling of blood connection with these 2 divine objects. At the same time, Chen Mu's body was blessed by Mal Yangbi and He Toluo Shu at this moment, and his cultivation once again rose and he made progress. He, who was originally in the diamond realm, appeared to be driven by divine energy due to his systematic blessings. After improving, with the improvement of cultivation, the sharp and shining aura of a Confucian sage gradually became introverted, transforming into a return to simplicity. This time, from an external perspective, I can't tell what cultivation Chen Mu is anymore, as if like an ordinary person. In this way, it will be very beneficial to pretend to be a pig and eat tigers in the future. Chen Mu feels very satisfied with this. Afterwards, he could quietly continue to lie flat and develop in the academy. Wait until the land, sky, and human realm are reached, and then make a stunning sound. Where in the world can't we go then? Some people dare not accept it, then use your strength to conquer. However, at this moment, Chen Mu didn't even know it himself. The emergence of Confucian divine pens and sacred books has brought about a wave of celestial phenomena in the sky above the academy. Fortunately, due to the previous vision, the people in the academy no longer had that surprise. On the contrary, Li Hani, the Snow Moon Sword Immortal, who was about to rush to the academy, was once again shocked in his heart. After so long, the aftershocks of the celestial anomaly have not yet completely ended. The Confucian sage in the academy is indeed a person with thick accumulation and thin hair, and should not be underestimated. Perhaps this is also the opportunity for me to break through. The sage of Confucianism, I hope you don't disappoint me. For this, Li Hani, who had expectations in her heart, accelerated her speed to the academy and fully activated her lightness skills. My body almost transformed into a stream of light that swept across the earth. Old author's new book set sail, seeking support. Thank you very much. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Although senior brother is not in the martial arts world, there is a senior brother in the martial arts world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Although senior brother is not in the martial arts world, there is a legend about senior brother in the martial arts world. Brush, an additional shadow appeared in the air. Coincidentally, at this moment, a disciple of the academy who was wandering around, looking out the window at the white clouds, I don't know if it's missing his beloved, still yearning for poetry in distant places. Suddenly, he felt his eyes flicker. Under the white clouds, there was an extra layer of white clothes and long hair, as graceful as a fairy's beautiful figure. The disciple was taken aback and began to think that he had hallucinations due to his own blurred vision, so he immediately rubbed his eyes. When looking again, that ethereal shadow still lingers in the air. Ah! This. So, who is that? Fairy. Wu Yuanji, what are you doing? If you don't learn it yourself, don't affect others. As soon as the teacher saw that the student not only deviated, but also influenced others in their studies, he angrily named and criticized him, without intending to turn a blind eye. Then at this point, Wu Yuanji's thoughts had already been attracted by the graceful and ethereal figure in the air. Where was he afraid of the stern gentleman? He fearlessly pointed his finger into the air and excitedly said, "Sir, look, there is a fairy." Ah! Fairy! You have no ambition, so if you want to suddenly meet me, you also need to find a better reason. The gentleman angrily followed Wu Yuanji's finger and looked into the air outside the window. I couldn't help but be stunned. This. So. Who is that? Although from a distance, the woman's elegance and grace may seem like a fairy, after living for so long, I naturally understand that she is not a fairy. The students saw the situation. They also looked at the sky one after another, and then one by one. They were all amazing. I feel that even if this woman's demeanor is not truly immortal, she can definitely be called as beautiful as a celestial being. At this point, looking down from the sky at the southern palace servants of the academy, I also sensed that passionate gazes were gathering on her. However, wearing a silver mask, she didn't care. Although the supernatural phenomena of heaven and earth have disappeared at this time, this academy really looks like a pattern of crouching tiger, hidden dragon. Graceful and dignified, carrying great virtue. No wonder a Confucian sage can be produced. The Nangong servant murmured to himself. Finally, let's call for an audience. Nangong servant, seeking to see master. Although the sound is not loud, it can spread throughout the academy, making it clear for anyone to hear. Among them, of course, it also includes Zhongchen Mu from the academy. Nangong Push. What is she doing at the academy? He approached the window and followed the sound, and indeed saw the floating figure of the Nangong servant. Like Chen Mu, many people have this doubt in their hearts. Everyone speculated on the purpose of this famous beauty sword fairy's trip in the martial arts world. Nangong servant. The figure of a stunning female swordsman immediately came to mind in the master's mind. This woman has extremely high talent and is not very old, but her swordsmanship is outstanding and she has a small reputation in the martial arts world. The future is limitless. Nowadays, not only have the Southern Palace servants come to the academy, and he asked to see him by name, so he had to get up and go out to see the guests. The master looked into the air and politely bowed, "Miss Nangong, I have looked up to you for a long time." Master is so polite, and the Nangong servant was already seeking help from others during this trip. It's not good to be aloof anymore. She flew down and bowed to the master. The Southern Palace attendant has seen master. Okay, I wonder why Miss Nangong is looking for me. Master is a real person who doesn't like to waste time on worldly wisdom. At this moment, the beautiful woman is actually thinking that it is more beneficial to go back and read more books after quickly handling things. Master is indeed a delightful person. First of all, congratulations to Master for becoming a saint through Confucianism. From then on, the Academy has gained an additional saint of Confucianism and Taoism. Oh! Nangong's servant's words stunned the master. Xin said that the Southern Palace attendant was originally here for his senior brother to become a saint through Confucianism. Senior brother said to keep a low profile, and indeed he has foresight. The Southern Palace servants have all come knocking, which indicates that although senior brother is not in the martial arts world, there is already a legend about senior brother in the martial arts world. A tall tree catches the wind. Su's world is now treacherous, and people's hearts are not ancient. Sometimes people don't harm tigers. Tigers are harmful to people's hearts. If I had taken the initiative to announce to the world and held a grand banquet to celebrate my senior brother without asking for his opinion before, I am currently causing trouble for my senior brother. There are all kinds of foolish people in this world. Some are obsessed with alcohol, some are obsessed with emotions, some are obsessed with wealth, some are obsessed with gambling, some are obsessed with literature, some are obsessed with martial arts, some are obsessed with prosperity and wealth, some are obsessed with seeking immortality and asking. Master himself loves books like Fate, is obsessed with reading and breaking through 10,000 volumes, and then writes like a god. In this regard, there are few in the world who can match it. Master has never subdued anyone, he only obeys Chenmu. Because the master believed that Chenmu was so crazy that he applied to their master to go to the library and became a gatekeeper for 100 years in order to cherish his precious time and study. This matter really left the master stunned. For so many years, he has actually been following Chenmu as a role model. Continuously studying and practicing diligently has led to today's achievements. In master's heart, besides the vastness of the world, now it belongs to senior brother Chenmu the eldest. Without senior brothers as role models, there would be no master today. The woman came to her door. I'm afraid I have some intentions towards my senior brother. Firstly, master made up his mind that no matter what reason this Nangong servant had, he must not let him disturb his senior brother's tranquility. Originally, Nangong Push, you came here for this matter. Master's tone became a bit cold. However, the Nangong servant didn't pay any attention and directly opened the door to explain his purpose. No, master, I came to ask about the sword. Ah. Ask the sword. Master was momentarily stunned again, then he smiled. Nangong Push couldn't have misunderstood my academy, could she? The academy is a place for studying and seeking knowledge. If you ask about swords, why not go to the Southern Jin Sword Pavilion? Or it could be the Wu family sword tomb. And that East China Sea Emperor City is right. The Wu family sword tomb has been passed down for over 1,000 years, with 160,000 famous swords used by swordsmen buried. Throughout history, sword immortals have emerged, making it one of the 3 major forbidden areas in the martial arts world today. The swordsman asked the sword, I must go to the Wu family sword tomb. And Jianghai Wudi City has Wang Xianji, who claims to be the second in the world but no one dares to be the first. The Southern Palace attendant asked about the sword. Of course, going to those 2 forbidden areas is the right choice. Come to the academy to inquire about swords. What is this truth? Upon hearing this, the southern palace attendant said with a serious expression. Master, I haven't come to the wrong place. I'm here to ask you about swordsmanship. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Master, I have a sword, please give me a name. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Master, I have a sword, please give me a name. Master, although you're right, there are some things you won't understand. My fate is not in the southern Jin sword pavilion, not in the Wu family sword tomb, nor in the Wudi city in Jiangdonghai. But rather, Academy. The reason for the southern palace attendant, no matter how you listen, it makes people feel a bit illogical. But strangely enough, the people in the academy didn't sound like she was trying to argue. Maybe it's because she's a beautiful woman. The white fox face gave the Nangong servant a more mysterious beauty. This is the privilege of beauty. However, this is only a privilege in the eyes of ordinary people. No matter how beautiful the southern palace servants are here with master, they will not have any privileges. Because at this moment, the master listened to her tone and wanted to disturb his senior brother Chen Mu. Nangong Push, I can't understand what you're saying. The academy is a place for studying, cultivating oneself and nurturing one's character, not a place for practicing swordsmanship. If you want to read, we are welcome at any time, but if you want to ask about swordsmanship, I think Nangong Push should go to the Wu family sword tomb or the Donghai Emperor city. As soon as master's words were spoken, the face of the Nangong servant was immediately filled with a chill. Master, are you pursuing guests? Nangong Push wanted to have a cup of tea before leaving. Faced with Nangong Push's somewhat aggressive aura, master was not afraid at all. Master, what if I don't leave? The tone of Nangong's servant became even colder. People in the martial arts world know that she, the Nangong servant, is a character who doesn't speak much harshly. Finally, I arrived here from afar with anticipation. The sword has not yet been asked, just want her to leave. No way. Nangong Push, the academy only has books and no swords. I don't believe it. After finishing speaking, the Nangong servant drew his sword and said, Show your sword, master, let's speak with it. The master scanned the double swords in the hands of the southern palace lackeys and couldn't help but frown. Spring thunder, embroidered winter. Not bad, what weapon does the master use? Actually, before coming, the Nangong servants had already inquired about it. The master was proficient in swordsmanship, cudgel, and even boxing. He is one of the few hidden masters in the world. If the master were just a bookworm with no binding power, the academy has been leveled countless times by people for a long time. Hey! It seems that this fight has to be fought. Master sighed, but because his senior brother was not disturbed by outsiders, he decided to take on this battle. So he stretched out his hands and calmly said, A gentleman regards no object as a tool, and all things can be used as tools. Anything is optional. Come on. Good spirit. Nangong's servant exclaimed in admiration, and at the same time, drew his sword. He truly deserves to be a master. Brush, the spring thunder and embroidered winter double blades slashed out a series of frost-like snow sword chi, attacking the master. Buzz master raised his hands slightly, the vigorous energy surging out of the body instantly transformed into invisible sword energy, protecting the entire body. The sword energy and sword energy quickly collided fiercely. The people around actually heard the sound of metal interaction in their ears. The invisible sword energy has turned into substance. Is this what master usually says, what is out of nothing? Whether there is mutual growth or not, the odd and right complement each other. It turns out that what Confucius usually teaches us is the true and unyielding truth of heaven and earth. And we privately roast that these are all empty theories. Yeah, when I think about it now, I feel really embarrassed. It turns out that master's strength is so terrifying. Everyone saw that the invincible sword aura of the Nangong servant seemed to have collided with an iron plate, dissipated like brilliant fireworks. At this point, she realized that the humble and low-key master in the academy was far more powerful than she had expected. You are truly a master, you are very strong. It didn't disappoint me. The Nangong servant praised on his lips, but there was no intention of stopping under his hands. That way, it seems like a big move is brewing. The double swords traced the mysterious trajectory, but surprisingly used the true qi in their bodies to activate the vitality of heaven and earth, words spoken in one's mouth. Master, I have a knife. The vitality changed from hard to soft, as if it had transformed into a long dragon of sword energy, enveloping the space of the master up, down, left, and right. This move has not been named yet. Please give me a name, master. At this moment, while watching the battle in the academy, everyone unexpectedly smelled the fragrance of flowers emanating from the sword aura in the long dragon. This is too supernatural. Unknown skill. There is a fragrance of flowers in the sword. It's so wonderful. Oh no, such a powerful move, I wonder if master can take it. Anyway, they were replaced, that's definitely going to run away. Of course, the reality is more likely that they cannot escape even if they want to. Because strength does not allow it. Then master doesn't need to escape at all. He activated the energy around his body, and the invisible sword energy rapidly changed. Soon, he set up an invisible sword formation within 100 zhang of his body. Sir, what kind of formation is this, master? Shocking array, now it's stable. Shocking array. Not bad, the gentleman beside kindly explained to the students around him. Unexpectedly, master's cultivation has improved again. This formation is both offensive and defensive, and the Nangong servant has lost. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. The master said, compared to my senior brother, I have this level of cultivation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. The master said that compared to my senior brother, my cultivation level is far inferior. This move is undoubtedly the most skilled sword move of the Nangong servant. But even if we set aside the powerful killing power of this great move, it is not an exaggeration to say that this move is the most beautiful move in the world. Because when the Southern Palace servant used this great move, the petals of all the flowers in the academy were moved by the sword energy, turning the surroundings into a sea of flowers. That's right. Even discerning people can tell. The Southern Palace servant is about to lose. However, although Nangong Pushu was defeated in the battle, but her move actually won people's hearts. What a beautiful sword technique, truly worthy of being a servant of the Southern Palace. Beautiful moves and beautiful looks, how poetic it is. The vast majority of female students in the academy were conquered by the exquisite swordsmanship of the Nangong servants. The first time I saw a knife technique that could be so beautiful, I really want to learn art. Just die of this heart, it's not easy to learn swordsmanship, it's even harder to reach the level of Nangong Puju. You know why? Is there only one Nangong servant in the world? I know, but I still can't help but envy and yearn for it, can't I? However, those who were conquered by the Southern Palace lackeys. Not only female disciples. Those male disciples were obviously conquered even more thoroughly. What is the beauty of knife technique? Her people are more beautiful. Oh, senior brother, your saliva is flowing out. Damn it, where did I drool? Cough, wrongly accuse me. The male disciples of the academy, even some gentlemen, couldn't help but be attracted by the stunning and beautiful face of the Nangong servant. Although the swordsmanship of Nangong servants is very strong, but the master's divine sword formation is claimed to be able to withstand the strongest attacks from the pinnacle of the world, even the gods can be shocked. Can you imagine, how strong can defense be? Under the control of the master, this formation is both offensive and defensive. In the face of an absolute power gap. Amazing as a servant of the Southern Palace, it also gives off a sense of powerlessness. This is a feeling of floating and shaking big trees. However, She thought for a moment. I suddenly felt that this was a good thing again. Master is so strong, wouldn't it be better to ask him about swords? Thinking of this, the disheveled and defeated Nangong servant not only did not feel angry, but also, and there was also a smile on his face that seemed to fulfill his wish. This is quite surprising. This. The cold beauty actually smiled, and he laughed so beautifully the beauty of the knife technique just now pales in comparison. However, what's even more surprising is still ahead. But he saw the southern palace attendant bowing to him Ying. Master's cultivation in swordsmanship really impressed the younger generation. Ah, Nangong servants are humble. I have also grown a lot older than you. At your age, maybe my strength is not as good as yours. He is so easy to talk to, and he can't continue to order with a cold face. Master, be humble. As the strongest member of the academy, how could you possibly be inferior to me? To be honest, I came to the academy to seek your advice on swordsmanship this time. This master is in some difficulty. A person like Nangong Pushu, how could he be so easy to serve? He really doesn't want to cause such trouble to suffer, so, he casually added a more humble sentence. Nangong Push laughed and said, actually, my cultivation level is not much. Compared to my senior brother, it's far behind. What? Master, do you actually have a senior brother? Before coming to the academy to find the master, Nangong Push had already done her homework. The most informed person in the world never mentioned to her that Master actually has a senior brother. Master himself is so powerful, yet he still admires his senior brother so much. Isn't his senior brother even more powerful than him? Yes, when it comes to Chen Mu, the Master's face couldn't help but show a look of pride and admiration. To say that the truly strongest person in this academy is my senior brother, what? Surprisingly, there is a stronger existence in the academy than you, Master. But why haven't I heard of you, Master, having such a senior brother? The Master is so strong, but he was so convinced by his senior brother. Isn't his senior brother someone with strength comparable to that Wang Lao monster in the East China Sea Emperor City? Dong Hai Wang Xianji, whether he is truly the number one in the world or not, whether he is willing or not, he is universally recognized as the number one in the world. However, it is this Wang Laiguai who is highly respected by the people of the world as the number one person in the world. For many years, he only claimed to be the second in the world. At first, many people were puzzled. How many people dream of becoming the number one in the world? Wang Laiguai clearly has the strength to rank first in the world, but why claim to be the second in the world? Over time, the southern palace attendant only then realized Wang Xianji's feelings. Before Lu Zhu had awakened, Li Chuangong's mood plummeted and he broke his arm after killing the green robe, and in the world where Zhang Fuyao remains hidden, Wang Xianji is actually the number one person in the world. In fact, Wang Xianji had lost to Li Chungang 7 times in his early years. It can be said that the old sword god Li Chungang watched Wang Xianji step by step towards the pinnacle. The battle before Li Chuangong's retirement, the old sword god could have killed Wang Xianji. But Li Chungang, because he cherished Wang Xianji's talent, did not want this outstanding younger generation to die early. Therefore, he did not use the strongest technique of sword opening the heavenly gate and ultimately failed, achieving Wang Xianji's goal. Wang Xianji, a genius of the heavenly emperor, understood the intentions of the old sword god. Therefore, for many years, he has sincerely admired and respected Li Chungang, to the extent that after taking over the city of Emperor Wu, he considers himself the second person in the world. In fact, his strength has long surpassed Li Chungang, but he still wants to leave the world's number one to him. This is one of them. Secondly, it's like reaching the realm of Wang Xianji. I deeply understand that in the world, besides those renowned experts, in every corner of the martial arts world, there are still some unknown but powerful experts hidden. For example, the young eunuch from Liang, who knows no name, no age, but has an unfathomable cultivation, shares the same lifespan as the country. For example, the Confucian sage Zhang Fuyao who guarded the human world for 800 years. It is said that even the strongest ancestor in the world, LV Dongxian, had consulted him for knowledge back then. This person has not yet ascended. The world thought he had just ascended. It is precisely because Zhang Fuyao has always been in the mortal world that he alone accounted for 80% of the Confucian fortune, making it difficult for Confucianism to become a saint again. Also, the strongest person in the world back then, Lu Zhu, Lu Dongxian, can still return to the human world even after entering the heavenly gate. Nowadays, there are also reincarnations, but they have not yet awakened. Wang Xianji is constantly waiting to fight against these extraordinary powers. Therefore, it is only called the second in the world. Now, in the eyes of Nangong Push, Master's senior brother is probably also one of the strongest hidden experts in the world. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Southern Palace servants go to the library, searching for the Confucian sage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Southern Palace servants go to the library, searching for the Confucian sage. In fact, the Nangong servants did not know that. She misunderstood the master's meaning. What Confucius said about senior brother Chen Mu being stronger than him is not actually referring to his combat power. But it refers to Chen Mu's perseverance and determination, as well as his ability to persist in studying for 100 years despite facing adversity, the indomitable and sincere heart. The realm of Confucius does not value the value of military power that secular people value. The Southern Palace attendant did not understand the master. Upon hearing this, it's natural to misunderstand. Surprisingly, there is a stronger existence in the academy than Confucius. That's really great. Master, can it be difficult? Is it your senior brother who has shown his virtue through Confucianism in the academy this time? This time, the Southern Palace servant was crooked and guessed it right. The cultivation methods of Confucianism. It is through reading that one enters the Tao. Therefore, those who do not easily become saints, but once a saint appears, he is a remarkable figure. The emergence of Confucianism as a sage was already a long time ago, which is why it caused such a sensation. Master is not someone who seeks fame and reputation. Besides, looking at the genuine gaze of Nangong Pushu, I also can't bear to deceive her in public, so he nodded and said, originally, senior brother didn't let me say it, but you guessed well. The person who made Confucianism a saint in the academy this time is my senior brother. Ah! As soon as these words are spoken, it's not just the shock of Nangong servants, even those present at the academy who heard this news were immediately dumbfounded. What? How could Master still have a senior brother? In the academy, all the disciples were stunned. The disciples of the academy have never heard of this. Even the 13 disciples of the Master have never heard of it. Mr. Li slowly widened his eyebrows and eyes, and he said incredulously, Master, do you still have senior brothers? Why have my disciples never heard you mention it? Upon hearing these words, the Master admonished in a low voice. What? Do I have to tell you even what I eat for 3 meals a day? Senior brother, what an expert. Ordinary people are not qualified to know his name and taboo. Senior brother, he is much stronger than me. Even I can only look up to it. Upon hearing what the Master had said, everyone present was shocked in their hearts. What kind of strength would a person who can be so revered by the Master be? Master himself is invincible in the world, and there are no more than 5 fingers in the world who can rival him. No, no more than 3 fingers. And now, the Master actually said that his senior brother is even more powerful than him. It is an existence that even the Master can only hope for. How powerful should this Master's senior brother, the ancestor of the academy, be? The disciples of the academy were deeply shocked and horrified. Originally, in their academy, there has always been such an ancestor hidden. Such a top-notch powerhouse in the world. After today, the academy is likely to shock the world. Even the global landscape will undergo tremendous changes. The Nangong servant couldn't believe his ears. I didn't expect there to be such an ancestor-level figure in the academy. If I could get his guidance. No need to say much, just a few words. Even just one word is enough to bring huge profits to people. Thinking of this, Nangong Push was extremely excited. This time I came to the academy to inquire about swordsmanship. I was hoping for an opportunity. At present, master and senior brother are enlightened by Taoism and Confucianism, ranking among the holy positions. For thousands of years, there were only a few Confucian sages. Confucius, Mencius, Xuanzi, Yanzi, and Zisi. The 5 sages of Confucius, each one is a great scholar. Those who receive the guidance of these 5 saints will all become giants, leaving a lasting mark in history. Now, Confucian academies have produced new saints. If you can get a little guidance, it's enough. The Nangong servant suppressed the excitement in his heart and spoke up. Master, I have something to ask of you. I would like to see your senior brother and ask him to guide me on my cultivation, is that okay? Upon learning that Chen Mu was the one who had become a saint, the southern palace attendant immediately gave up his master and chose Chen Mu instead. She naturally believed that since Chen Mu was the master's senior brother and could also use Confucianism to become a saint, triggering various celestial phenomena, one's cultivation will definitely be stronger than that of a master. Otherwise, how could the master be so respectful when mentioning this mysterious senior brother? Unexpectedly, upon hearing this, master hesitated. Master knows that Chen Mu doesn't like those scumbags in the world. With all my heart, I only enjoy reading books of sages, for 100 years. Even if he became a saint with Confucianism, he wouldn't let the master celebrate on his behalf. Not even showing his face. If someone else could achieve such great success, they would definitely come out and show off in front of the world, then enjoy the compliments and admiration of the world. At this moment, even if he doesn't ask, he knows that Chen Mu doesn't want to get involved. But refusing directly would be too hurtful, so I pondered for a moment and decided to create a staircase for her to descend. Miss, it's not that I don't allow you to see my senior brother. It's my senior brother who doesn't care about the world. I always see the dragon at the beginning but not at the end. Even I don't know where senior brother is right now. Master's words disappointed Nangong's servant for a moment. Has he gone on a wandering trip? Not in the academy anymore. The master is still not used to deceiving people, and whenever he lies, he feels like he is losing his virtue. But since this lie has already been revealed, so even with tears in your eyes, you have to persevere with it, right? In order to prevent my senior brother from being disturbed by beautiful women, master has also put in a lot of effort this time. He won't do it until someone else does. Miss, even if you haven't gone out for a trip, it's only in the academy, and Yunshin doesn't know where to go. If you don't believe me, ask my academy disciples. How many times have they met my senior brother in the past 100 years? Master, after speaking, the southern palace attendant immediately looked at the people in the academy. From their expressions, it was evident at a glance that what the master said was true without speaking. But since she has already arrived, it is impossible to return empty-handed. The Nangong Push actually followed her mother's surname. Her father is actually the world-renowned Xie Guaniying. But the southern palace servants hated him to the bone. That Xie Guaniying, with all his talent, is true, but his ambition is too great, devoted to stealing the fortune of the world and converting it into personal use, resorting to any means to achieve the goal, even giving up on one's own wife. Xie Guan used despicable and shameless means to transform the energy of the Nangong servant's mother into his own use, then, abandoning their mother and daughter also resulted in the death of the Nangong servant's mother. Nangong Pushu was born with a great talent for martial arts, and she inherited her mother's beauty. After leaving the family, she began to travel in the martial arts world, make every effort to improve one's own strength. In order to kill the father of the beast as soon as possible and seek revenge for his biological mother. Originally, Nangong Push planned to go to Pavilion and then find a way to sneak into Tingqiao Pavilion to read martial arts classics and improve herself. However, the current Tingqiao Pavilion is one of the 3 forbidden areas in the martial arts world. It is also a martial arts holy land that countless people in the martial arts world dream of, and the pavilion hides numerous experts. She can't just enter if she wants to. At this moment, she learned that there was a great power in the academy to cultivate Confucianism, so she decisively gave up the Tingqiao Pavilion, arrived at the academy. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The old man who sweeps the pavilion is extraordinary. Is it possible that he is a Confucian sage? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The old man who sweeps the pavilion is extraordinary. Is it possible that he is a Confucian sage? Nangong Pushu came with the determination to learn from his master. In the world, only the Confucian and Taoist saints who make heaven and earth pale can make her stand at the peak of the human world. Only by becoming the strongest can she wield her enemies and avenge her biological mother. Master, I sincerely request to see the Confucian sage. If it's suitable, I can even join the academy. The master responded. Of course he knew that a woman disguised as a man was a beautiful girl who would climb the 3 treasures hall without any problems. Master has read countless people, and of course, it is evident that with the amazing qualifications of the Southern Palace attendant, if he joins the academy and with time, he will definitely become a pillar of the talented. Thinking of this, Master couldn't help but be moved. With the girl's character and qualifications, if you are interested in joining the academy, I am always welcome. However, I also want to tell the girl that I can't take control of my senior brother's affairs. The girl must fight for it on her own. However, I want to fulfill my wish with the girl's qualifications, if there is fate. Thank you very much, Master. Upon hearing Master's words, Nangong Push knew that she had gained Master's approval. Even if she had not been able to see the prominent Master's senior brother for the time being, she would have no problem staying in the academy. So, the Nangong servant took the opportunity to make a request. Master, I heard that there are countless classic books in the academy's collection. Can I enter the pavilion to read a wide range of books? The Tingqiao Pavilion, which is filled with martial arts classics, cannot enter the northern young prince's mansion, but the southern palace's servants come to the academy. The library here is even larger in scale than the Tingqiao Pavilion in Pavilion, and there are many more classics in the academy than the Tingqiao Pavilion. Although the area is mainly composed of Confucian classics, it also encompasses a wide range of Taoist and Buddhist classics. Among them, there are also some martial arts classics collected. It turns out that the girl is also someone who loves books, so of course we welcome her to our library. Senior brother also said that books are meant for people to read. In books, there is beauty like jade, and in books, there is a golden house. The person who loves books is the kindred spirit of books. When Confucius started talking about books, he couldn't help but talk a lot. He was truly someone who loved reading. The Nangong servant also had a smile on his face. But what she was thinking in her heart was not about getting a golden house or yen ryu from the book. What she wants is the strength to become the number 1 in the world and crush the 4 major enemies. Upon hearing what Master said, Nangong Push believed that his senior brother should be an extraordinary expert who did not care about worldly affairs and became a saint through reading. Legend in the martial arts world, 800 years ago, the first-generation Confucian sage Zhang Fuyao was talented and had unparalleled strength in the world. Even LV Zhu had consulted him for knowledge back then. The first sage, of course, ascended. Confucianism is not easy to become a saint, but once someone becomes a saint with Confucianism, it will definitely be a great power. If I could worship under the Confucian sect, I said there is hope for revenge. At the thought of his mother's hatred, Nangong Push's determination became incredibly firm. Since you want to worship under the name of such a master, the Nangong servant must first cater to his favor. Master and senior brother enjoy reading, so she should start with reading first. She didn't believe it anymore. If she stayed in the library of the academy, would she not meet the Confucian and Taoist sage who loved books as much as her life? As long as we meet once, the Nangong servants will do everything possible to worship under their sect. However, Nangong Push also thought too simply. She only knew that there were countless experts in the northern Liang Tingchao Pavilion, and it was rare to enter without permission. But I didn't know that the library of the academy also contained the universe, and the secrets were no less than those of the Tingchao Pavilion in Beiliang. If outsiders come for the first time without any guidance, they don't even know the secrets behind it. Speaking of the entire academy, it can be divided into a front yard and a backyard. The front courtyard admits qualified talents every year to impart various knowledge, while the back courtyard is only accessible to the disciples passed down by the master. There is no distinction between men and women, no distinction between nations, no strength in cultivation, and even no theory of innate potential in the enrollment of students in academies. As long as the master likes it, you are his disciple. And the disciples in the backyard are not simple, they belong to the combat power of the academy and are like inner disciples who enter the door. Front yard disciples usually can only watch the excitement. Backyard disciple, those who have already entered the hall, can now guard the door. The library of the academy allows anyone who is a disciple of the academy to enter and browse the books of the emperor, which is indeed not wrong. But in reality, the library is divided into two levels. The front is the outer cabinet, and the back is the cabinet. The disciples in the front courtyard are only qualified to enter the first floor of the library, which is the outer pavilion. As for the second-level cabinet, only disciples from the backyard are eligible to enter. After entering the academy, students can go to the outer pavilion on the first floor to read. The outer pavilion of the library pavilion houses books from all over the world. Hidden in an outer pavilion, everyone can read it. But what is hidden in the second cabinet are books for practitioners, and they must not be read forcibly unless they have the potential for cultivation, otherwise they will either die or be injured. The outer cabinet and the cabinet are vaguely interconnected. Only Confucius and Chen Mu, as well as a few members of the academy, know the mysteries behind it. This is the secret of the academy. The cabinet is also guarded by experts from academies to prevent those cultivation classics from being stolen. Of course, the master did not immediately mention these secrets to the Southern Palace attendant, but instead gave her the identity of a new disciple of the academy and allowed her to go to the library on her own. The Southern Palace servants have just arrived, and of course, those who can enter based on their status are the outer pavilion. There, all she could come into contact with were books that were not dangerous. Fortunately, the collection of books in the outer pavilion is truly incredibly rich. Not only 100 schools of thought, but also some rare and unearthed documents that cannot be found outside. Confucianism, Buddhism, Taoism, Military Academy, Mahist School, Legalist School, Famous School, Yin-Yang School, Miscellaneous School. Looking at the neatly sorted but colorful books, Nangong Push felt a surge of excitement in her heart. There aren't as many books in Tingchao Pavilion, right? The legend in the martial arts world is that it was built using the martial arts secrets that Su Shao, the former king of northern Liang, led 300,000 iron horses to ride in the martial arts world and snatched from various major sects in the world. But compared to the library in the academy, it still pales in comparison. Undoubtedly, it is the authentic Confucianism and Taoism. Nangong Push felt that she would definitely gain something here. Maybe it's better than trying to find a way to enter Tingchao Pavilion in Beiliang. Since Confucianism and Taoism are normal, I will start reading Confucian classics first. So, Nangong Push began to focus on the classics that she was interested in. I started flipping through which one I liked, feeling like I was starving during this period. Countless male and female disciples from the academy entered the library and were attracted by her appearance and temperament. The male disciple didn't want to move his eyes away when he saw her. The female disciple, on the other hand, seemed to have committed a flower obsession, staring at her tall and straight figure, muttering to herself. How could such a handsome person be a woman? Master, isn't he mistaken? As the number one person on the world's rouge list, Nangong Push is not just as simple as conquering the country and the city. That face full of spirituality and temptation, like a white fox, achieved a man and woman killing that could not be achieved in a down-to-earth world. The male disciples regarded her as the most perfect lover in their dreams. The female disciples regarded her as the true love in their lives. They all want to get close to the Nangong servants. That white robe, paired with double swords at the waist, and the peerless beauty that made it difficult to distinguish between male and female, really shocked everyone when Nangong Push appeared in the academy. However, they were all frightened by the cold and powerful aura emanating from the Nangong servant. One by one, they only dare to observe from afar and dare not play around. This allows the Nangong servants to easily block out the disturbance of many flies. The most favorite phrase among women in the world is probably, "If you come here with a butterfly in full bloom." However, Nangong Push was not worried about not having butterflies around her. She had been troubled since childhood by too many flies around her who coveted her beauty. Therefore, a cold aura that repels people thousands of miles away has long been cultivated on my body. Paired with the two famous swords around her waist, she can instantly scare away many people with lust but no courage. All kinds of disciples in the front and backyards, no matter how excellent they are in the eyes of the world, none of them can enter the eyes of the southern palace servants. However, after a while, the Nangong servant unexpectedly discovered a master in the library who could resist the temptation of her peerless beauty. This person is wearing a coarse linen robe, and every day when passing by the southern palace servants, he is either sorting out the scattered classics in the library or sweeping the floor with a broom. He looks like an ordinary elderly person, without exuding any strong aura. However, Nangong Push felt that this pavilion sweeper was very unique. Just one pavilion sweeper. Why can there be such a steadfast gaze? I have only experienced the calm composure of the master in the academy. Is it true that he is a reclusive expert? End of this chapter. Chapter 10. The southern palace servants are startled and suspected. How does the old master know to listen to the Tide Pavilion? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Nangong servants are startled and suspected. How did the old gentleman know what was in the Tingqiao Pavilion? So, the Nangong servants also secretly paid attention to the every move of the people sweeping the pavilion. But she didn't expect that this sweeping person dressed in coarse linen clothes, who didn't show off the mountain or water, was the Confucian and Taoist saint she was looking for in all her ways on this trip. Chen Mu. Imagine, if this person were a master and senior brother, then they would definitely be a person of high status. How could it be just a floor sweeper? The master senior brother in the consciousness of the Nangong servant is an extraordinary expert with a fairy-like aura and a light of wisdom emanating from all over his body. It's absolutely impossible to be inferior to even a master. It is even less likely to be ordinary, even to a lower level than ordinary academy disciples. That's it. The Nangong Push self-medicated and set limits, believing that Chen Mu, who was sweeping the floor of the library, could not be the master's senior brother. Therefore, the proud white fox's face naturally did not take the initiative to talk at first. After a little while, she felt that the academy was truly authentic to Confucianism, and even the people who swept the pavilion had become so different from the environment here. It was Chen Mu's light sigh that made this rouge champion, known as the world's #1 beauty, speak up. That was half a month after she entered the cabinet and read extensively. Nangong Push found that none of the classics he read in the library were what she wanted. What she wants is the cultivation classics that can help her become the #1 person in the world, rather than the cliché words from various schools that can help her gain knowledge and preach great truths. Perhaps feeling that half a month had been wasted and nothing had been achieved, the Nangong servant angrily kicked over the bookshelf in front and behind him with a few loud kicks. Waste paper. It's all a pile of paper. It's useless at all. What's the use of having so many books hidden? With such a large library, I can't even compare to listening to a martial arts secret collection in Chowting. Humph. After kicking, she may still feel unsatisfied. She even brushed the floor and pulled out the embroidered Winter and Spring Thunder from her waist, about to chop towards the neatly arranged bookshelf in the library. Now, Chen-mu can't bear it anymore. So he let out a light sigh and stopped the Nangong servant from firing. Ah! This light sigh utilized Chen-mu's cultivation. A single sound can intimidate people's hearts. The Southern Palace servant, who was in a hurry to achieve success and fell into a demon, heard this and felt a slight shock in his heart. I almost couldn't control it just now. This person who sweeps the pavilion must have cultivation in him. The master gave her the status of a disciple in the front courtyard and kindly allowed her to enter the pavilion to read without any conditions. She ate and drank every day in the academy. Nowadays, destroying a library with just one word of disagreement is truly a betrayal of my master's kindness. Fortunately, someone stopped me in time. So the Nangong servant put away his double swords and walked towards Chen-mu, saying, "Sir, thank you for reminding me just now. Otherwise, I will cause a big disaster. I apologize for my kindness." Chen-mu walked with a broom, picking up the books that had been kicked over by the Southern Palace lackeys. He smiled faintly and said, "Miss, I'm just a pavilion sweeper, not a gentleman. However, I once heard Master say, haste but not speed. Oh." The Southern official's servant paused slightly. Although Chen-mu didn't say anything surprising, he was able to hit her pain point with just one word. That's right, she's just too eager for quick success and instant benefits. In order to become the #1 in the world faster and avenge her mother earlier, she did not allow herself to waste any time. Once it is discovered that she has done something meaningless, the Nangong servant will feel that she is like a sinner, sorry for her mother. She has today's strength precisely because she wants to avenge her mother. Mother's hatred made Nangong servants brave and advanced, but hatred is truly a double-edged sword that not only drives her but also becomes her inner demon. Now, this heart demon has transformed from power to resistance, becoming a roadblock on the path of Nangong Push's cultivation. Seeing Nangong Push listen, Chen-mu nodded secretly. For the sake of the books in the library, he decided to continue spending some time to persuade her. "Miss, you just mentioned Tingchao Pavilion. Well, sir, do you also know the Tingchao Pavilion in the northern young prince's mansion?" A Tingchao Pavilion instantly gave the two of them a common topic. "Hee, I understand a little." Chen-mu smiled calmly, without flattery or affectation, just a polite smile. This made Nangong Pushu, who had been deliberately flattered by people for his beauty since childhood, have a very strange feeling. My beauty has no effect on his mood. The four major characters in the world are wine, lust, wealth, and energy. One of the ways of color is not immune to advanced people. Therefore, the southern officials and servants no longer want to look up at Chen-mu with a single glance. "Girl, theoretically speaking, what you are pursuing is to become the strongest in the world. Compared to the library of our academy, the Tingchao Pavilion, which collects most of the martial arts secrets of various sects and sects in the martial arts world, may be more suitable for you." Nangong Push nodded. She also wanted to go and take a look, but unfortunately, Tingchao Pavilion is now the private library of the northern young prince's mansion. She is an outsider. Why do they let her see those precious martial arts secrets? Next, Chen-mu's words further shocked her. Tingchao Pavilion is not very impressive. Outsiders only know that it has 6 floors, but in fact, it has 9 floors. What, 9th floor? Not bad. But because 9 is the highest number, it is only said to have 6 levels to the public, with a total of 6 guards, each possessing unique skills. The Nangong servant really didn't know about this matter. It seems that the secrets of the northern young prince's mansion are much more than she knew. In the northern young prince's mansion, in layman's terms, Tingqiao Pavilion is both a treasure trove and an arsenal, because it collects many martial arts secrets, making it a desirable place for people in the martial arts world. But there are countless experts guarding inside, so it is also one of the 3 major forbidden areas and dangerous areas in the world. These girls don't know, do they? I still know that Tingqiao Pavilion is one of the 3 forbidden areas in the martial arts world. He. That girl must also know what treasures are hidden in the 9 floors of Tingqiao Pavilion. I don't know about this, the Nangong servant's gaze flickered. Do you? No, sir. To be honest with you, I understand a little bit. Next, Chen Mu stopped being polite and decided to shock the little girl in front of him who wanted to destroy the library. The first floor of Tingqiao Pavilion mainly contains 30,000 volumes of introductory martial arts from all over the world, all of which are entry-level books, but what's rare is that none of them are available in the martial arts world. On the second floor, there is a unique version of the 4,000 yin-yang studies and the vertical and horizontal studies, which is very impressive. After all, the word unique version is enough to show its preciousness. However, in fact, our hospital also has those rare editions, so there are some that are not truly rare editions, In addition to the Lonely Book, that layer also houses 40.9 unique weapons and weapons of the world. As for the third floor, it's even more impressive, with 20,000 pieces of profound scriptures and secrets hidden inside. On the fourth floor, you may not be interested because the treasures are all rare stones and antiques. And the things on the 5th and 6th floors of Tingqiao Pavilion are truly impressive. Speaking of which, Chen Mu found that the Nangong girl's mind had been completely attracted by his words and actions. So he continued, because back then, the king of Northern Liang broke through the martial arts holy land of Purple Forbidden Mountain Villa with his Northern Liang iron cavalry, and took away all the secret scriptures inside. And all those secrets are placed on the 6th floor. Upon hearing that Chen Mu was so familiar with the Tingqiao Pavilion in the Northern Liang Prince's mansion, the Southern Palace attendant was completely shocked. What kind of person is this old gentleman sweeping the pavilion? End of this chapter.